দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি চ্যানেল 24 এর নিয়মিত আয়োজন মুখোমুখিতে প্রতি পর্বে আমাদের সাথে একজন দেশি কিংবা বিদেশি অতিথি থাকেন। এই পর্বে আমাদের সাথে আছেন একজন বিদেশি অতিথি। আমরা আজকে কথা বলবো বাংলাদেশ এবং দক্ষিণ কোরিয়ার সম্পর্কের 50 বছর অগ্রগতি, চ্যালেঞ্জ এবং আগামীর সম্ভাবনা নিয়ে। এজন্য আমাদের সাথে স্টুডিওতে আছে ঢাকায় দক্ষিণ কোরিয়ার রাষ্ট্রদূত লি জ্যাং-কেউন। Welcome to the show, Excellency. How are you?
So very good. It's my pleasure to be here, to be with you, and to visit this channel 24.
Right. The relationship between two countries is very interesting. If I'm not wrong, it started with around late 80s or mid 80s. And your country is the first country who came up with a big help. And from then, we are going high. It's the biggest success story. It's called the RMG sector, ready-made garments. So would you like to start with that? And is it the biggest achievement in the relationship for last 50 years?
Now, obviously, I can say that our RMG cooperation is a symbol and model of our bilateral ties for the past 5 decades. And as you said, it was a Korean company who came here and to work with the Bangladeshi local company to build up, to start its RMG industry in this country. And you may, that's not what I'm telling, but that's what I've heard so frequently from my Bangladesh friends and colleagues. This Daewoo Corporation Korea and Daesh Garment entered into a collaboration in 1978, and they agreed to collaborate on RMG sector. And in 1979, the Daewoo Corporation invited 133 from the Daesh Garment, this RMG workers, managers, and technicians, engineers, including 18 women among this 133. And in 1979, they went to Korea, and Daewoo Corporation trained them for 6 months. And they came back, and they started factory scale of RMG industry with the machine provided by Daewoo Corporation. And that was the start of RMG industry in this country. And after that, from 1 year after that, this Daesh Garment started export its items first to European markets.
Right.
I heard that it was to Swedish market. This Jang-keun Corporation is the operator of a well-known Korean EPZ, Korean Export Processing Zone in Chattogram. And this company came here in 1980 as well.
Right.
And they established its first factory, RNG factory, in Chattogram, Agrabat. And now this company is the biggest Korean investor here. And this all means that how successfully Korea and Bangladesh work together from the very beginning. And we see the outcome now,
Right.
how successful it was. If you see the current Bangladesh's RMG industry, now the second largest exporter in the world.
Your country is a part of the glory Bangladesh is carrying. So, Excellency, we heard a lot of complaints regarding this Korean investment. The company KPZ had to face a lot of troubles. What is the update? Are those solved or still going on?
There are still pending issues regarding the KPZ. The Jang-keun Corporation established an agreement with the Bangladesh government for setting up this zone as early as in mid-1990s. And even though the factory is now in full gear, in full operation, the KPZ now has around 60 factory buildings, and the development of the area has been almost completed. I think it's more than 99% are completed. The road, electricity, and water supply, and dormitories, and even they have design schools and high-tech zone, and solar power plant as well. So even though the factory is running well normally, but still there is still pending issue for the transfer of the ownership of this area from the government to this company.
Okay. Excellency, on this discussion, we have to take a break and we'll come back and talk about more because we have seen the journey from RMG sectors to the mobile factory like Samsung is here. So it's a very interesting journey. I will talk about that more and before that we have to take a break. দর্শক আমরা আলোচনার এই পর্যায়ে একটা বিরতি নিচ্ছি সাথেই থাকুন ফিরছি একটু পর আমরা এরপরে আমরা আলোচনা করব যে তৈরি পোশাক থেকে মোবাইল কোম্পানি এই যে জার্নিটা সেই জার্নিতে কোরিয়া আমাদের সাথে কিভাবে আছে এই পর্যায়ে একটা বিরতি নিচ্ছি সাথে থাকুন ফিরছি একটু পর আমন্ত্রণ একবার মুখোমুখিতে আমাদের সাথে আছে ঢাকার দক্ষিণ কোরিয়ার দূত লি জ্যাং-কেউন ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো ওয়ান্স अगेन এক্সেলেন্সি so as we've been talked about the RMG sector now Bangladesh has moved far we have seen Samsung it's a bit late but still they started a factory so what this Korean giant company made realization Bangladesh is a place where they should start a factory is it just because of the market or just because of the other facilities as well?
So I think it is for both. Actually, as you said, Samsung came here somewhat late. Now, even though these RMG companies came here as early as in 70s and 80s, but Samsung established this office only in 2009.
Right.
It's very recently. And they started in partnership with the Bangladesh company called Ha-Meem Group. But they are somewhat late, but they realized the potential of Bangladesh, not only as a potential market for the company, but potential of the capability of Bangladesh is, the infrastructure for their business. So that means they have interest in the market and they have interest in the skills, technology of Bangladesh and Bangladesh people. This Samsung R&D Institute is located in Dhaka.
Yes.
They started from 2010 and they are employing about 500 Bangladesh experts. They are all engineers and software developers from the major universities like BUET. So this R&D Institute is mainly developing the software for using in their gadgets. But it's not just for the gadgets in Bangladesh, but they are supplying the software to be used in other countries around the world. So I hope that they are very satisfied with the quality of Bangladesh experts.
In that case, to develop more sophisticated application, will Samsung build any other institute that will help to these software makers to enlighten themselves more?
Now, obviously, like what happened in the RMG sector, when they invited 130 Bangladesh people and trained them for 6 months. They started the Bangladesh RMG industry. So being here in Bangladesh by Samsung, the big global company, I think it means a lot. They are not just here for selling the product. They are transferring their own technology. If you visit the Samsung factory run by Ha-Meem Group, so it's a huge place. Assembling the product is not an easy one. You have to have technology. You have to have the machines. And Samsung people cannot do that. They have to have local people to run this place.
Right.
So I heard that Samsung sent an army of experts to here to train local people.
That's fantastic.
To run this factory run by a Bangladesh company. So this kind of technological cooperation, technological transfer has already started. And Samsung also established their service center to provide after service to the consumers. This after service is what they are doing globally. It's a world top standard.
That's fantastic.
So this kind of technology and management practice and skills, they are bringing into this country, even though it's not in the form of direct investment. think they are contributing to the economy of this country. And I believe that soon there will be a time to have a very meaningful decision by this company.
I think Samsung will have the entire Bangladesh and no more other companies' phone like iPhone will be selling. On this part of discussion, we will take another break and come back and talk about more. দর্শক আমরা কথা বলছিলাম যে বাংলাদেশে কিভাবে এই যে পরিবর্তনটা হচ্ছে অর্থাৎ তৈরি পোশাক থেকে মোবাইল ফোনের মতো একটি সফটস্টিকেটেড ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে বাংলাদেশে বিনিয়োগ আসছে, সেই পরিবর্তনটা হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ সেটি ধারণ করছে। এগুলো নিয়ে আমরা আলোচনা করব। সাথে থাকুন, আলোচনা একটা বিরতি নিচ্ছি, ফিরছি একটু পর। আমন্ত্রণ আরো একবার মুখোমুখিতে। আমাদের সাথে আছেন ঢাকার দক্ষিণ কোরিয়ার দূত। এক্সেলেন্সি, ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো ওয়ান্স সেকেন্ড। নাও, as Bangladesh has entered in a different market and with a different capacity, as we have talked about the sophistication market, mobile market is Samsung is here. So Bangladesh is trying to have some capacity from the engineering market to the weapon and security. As Bangladesh is looking to establish a good military power to enrich and look after the border, especially in the maritime and other sectors. In the weapon, we have heard from the West, they want to sell a lot of weapons. What is in your basket to offer to Bangladesh?
I think Korea and Bangladesh has maintained somewhat close military to military collaboration in the past several decades, even though in a somewhat limited scope and scale. And especially in the provision of high quality of Korea's military equipment to this country. Ship provided by Korea is named after Bangabandhu. So this Bangabandhu ship is the main navy force of Bangladesh until now. And future will be much more bright because especially in the shipbuilding, Korea is the world number one in shipbuilding. Korea has the largest shipbuilding capacity in the world.
We are almost about to end the show. I'm sorry to stopping you there. So one area where Korea have shown interest is in the nuclear power, as you are working with other countries. In very short, what offer you have for Bangladesh? As you know, Bangladesh is already working with Russia in the nuclear power project.
Korea is also very strong in the peaceful use of nuclear energy, especially nuclear power plants. Korea is world number 6 in terms of the capacity of nuclear power plant operation. We have 24 nuclear power plant units operating in our country. And already we have constructed 4 nuclear power plant units in United Arab Emirates.
That's great.
With our own technology. So we have this.
And how expensive is that?
That was around $20 billion project and started from 2009. We made an agreement with the UAE government. So we have not only our domestic experience and domestic technology for this nuclear power plant, but also we have this successful case.
Was it G2G or is it a partnership?
It was a partnership, but we provided this equipment and technology, and they bought from us. UAE has a big financial capacity.
Have you talked about this experience with the Bangladesh authority as well?
It is not yet that stage. I know that Korean companies also interested when Bangladesh planned the first nuclear power plant, which is now under construction in Rupur. At that time, I heard that even Korean company showed some interest, but they decided not to participate. But if Bangladesh have a second project of nuclear power plants, and considering the capacity of Korean companies and their experience, I think they might have also a big interest in looking for possibility here as well.
Sure. That's a fantastic experience we may have. Thank you, Excellency, so much for coming to the studio and sharing your thoughts. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
দর্শক, আমরা কথা বলছিলাম কোরিয়া বাংলাদেশ সম্পর্কে নানা দিক নিয়ে, কিভাবে একটি দেশ বাংলাদেশের তৈরি পোশাক থেকে শুরু করে মোবাইল ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে এগিয়ে এসছে এবং আগামীতে তারা নিউক্লিয়ার পাওয়ার প্ল্যান্টেও বিনিয়োগ করতে চায়। তো সবকিছু মিলিয়ে করে বাংলাদেশ সম্পর্ক এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে। দেখাবে মুখোমুখির অন্য কোনো পর্বে অন্য কোনো অতিথির সাথে। তার আগ পর্যন্ত সুস্থ থাকুন, নিরাপদে থাকুন।